right? I'm
Yeah.
not looking at that.
Right. Okay, so what's the process? Like when you first hear of a hoax, what's the first thing that happens?
Well, people do notify me through Facebook, through Messenger, talking about incidents that might have happened that they've read on other people's pages. What I do at that point is I research our call history and our reports to check the validity of such a post.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as like school shooting threats and stuff like that, how do you trace the origin of the posts?
Well, if we get a report like that, we instantly generate an incident report, and our detectives work with other agencies to trace the IP addresses, to trace where it came from. Most times people do it on their own Snapchat, their own Facebook page, so it makes it easy for us to identify who did it, and then they go from there.
Right. And then at what point do you determine if something is a hoax or if it's something you should start looking into?
Well, we look into everything, whether, regardless of what it is, we do investigate it. At some point, we can determine if it's a hoax. So we talk to the person involved, we talk to people involved, we compare video, things like that, and we can determine if it is an actual offense or if it's not. If someone does make something like a gun threat or a threat against a school, even if it's a hoax, they will be charged.
So a lot of resources can be put towards just looking into something.
A ton of resources, especially if it does involve something where someone said they're going to do something inside of a school. A ton of resources are used on something like that because we don't want to take the chance of it possibly just being a hoax. We're going to go and treat it as a real threat until we deem it otherwise not. And then again, that person's going to be in trouble for that.
Mm-hmm. And then can you just comment on how, with the popularity of social media, how are hoaxes more common now?
They are more common. We understand, we've had a couple in the past couple of weeks. One was a student that claimed that somebody tried to abduct him. His mom took to social media immediately to talk about it, the dangers of your child being abducted, how scary it is. That was out before we even had a chance to investigate it. Our detectives ended up looking at video. Our school resource officer looked at video and we deemed it to be a hoax. But that caused chaos. The school was inundated with phone calls. I was inundated with phone calls. Social media is powerful. And when someone does something like that, people will take it on their face value until it can be proven otherwise. Same thing this past weekend with an incident at Walmart. Somebody posted something up there, again, inundated with phone calls, with messages. I researched it, I looked at the call history, and nothing that was posted on that Facebook post coincided with what was said to our officers and the narrative of the call that they were on.
Mm-hmm. And what are some red flags if somebody sees something alarming on Facebook? What are the red flags that suggest it might be a hoax?
It's hard to say because people can perceive something different when they're in the heat of a moment of a situation. The student that said he was almost abducted, his mom was upset. She wanted other people to be aware. We understand that. But what I would caution people is before they go on Facebook, before they post an entire post about something, let us do our job. Let us investigate it. Let us look into it. And then reach out to our Facebook page. I'm pretty transparent. I post things. If an incident such as the one at Walmart happened, it would be on our page. I would post pictures and I would be warning people. So I would tell people, use caution if you read something. Check with our page. Check with any police department page where you might be. See if they have something up.